Hello.
Hi.
We're in a new location. This is actually a better angle than the one before.
Yeah, no, it's still chaos though. Like, look at the state of it. It's just for the record. This is not my kit. Well, this is not how the kitchen will be, but it's how the kitchen is at the minute. It's just absolute chaos, and Alba's sat. Wave, Alba.
Love it.
So I'm multitasking today.
One day we'll actually be on a episode here and it'll be done.
No, well, one day, hopefully not so far in the distant future, the actual office will be done in the house.
Oh yes, of
It'll
course.
be gorgeous and finished and lovely. So I'm excited for that. I need to start getting on Pinterest and sorting out the office and my ideas because I'm so excited to work in a normal. By the time I'll be working in a normal environment, I'll probably stop doing this.
Yeah, most likely. Like you'll be off to probably different career by that point.
It's ridiculous. Honestly, I said to my friend the other day, I've spent more time living in this house with the builders here than I have without. Like they've been here longer than I have been there without them. But anyway, yeah. So one day we'll have a nice location, but for now he's left in the background.
So for today's episode, what are we going to be talking about?
Clawbacks.
Okay, let's dive into that. Let's give the world the wonderful world of clawbacks. Go on then.
So clawbacks are vile. Anyone in insurance, that'll make them shudder. That word, it's horrible. Regardless, like forgetting the fact that clawbacks are not nice in terms of the fact that it is obviously a pain and it's the cost to the business and time spent. The thing I want to try and get across to people who are, especially people who are new in the industry, is to try not look at clawbacks as if clawbacks are just about money. So instead, sometimes I think a lot of the time people, when I speak to other advisors, they think of clawbacks as like, oh, I need to get them back insured because I've lost that money. So for people who aren't in insurance, basically most of people get paid, it's called like a lump sum type commission. So when you get insured, you get paid a lump sum of money. And then if the client cancels that policy within 4 years, you have to pay a certain amount of it back. Usually that's like the gist of it. And you hear people say, oh, I've had a clawback, I need to get them back on because I've lost X amount of money, or like that's cancelled, I've got to pay it back. And like I get that totally, that obviously is a concern, but it's not the right concern. So the main concern for you should be that your client needs to be covered. If your client isn't covered, and say for example, I don't know, say someone's moved banks and they thought all the direct debits were getting sorted, instead of you being concerned about making sure you get that policy back on because you want to be covered, make sure whatever you do that you have wrote down either on an email or a text, or you've sent them a letter to state they are no longer insured. And if they need to if they want to still be insured, then they need to contact you, rather than just ringing them and thinking I need to get them back up and running. You need to put it in black and white somewhere to cover your backside that you're letting your client know they're no longer insured, because that's what petrifies me. Is I think sometimes people cancel or miss a payment and they think, oh, it's all right, they'll just take double next month, or it's all right, they'll take it in a couple of weeks. And sometimes the providers won't. And if you aren't telling every single one of your clients when that happens, when you get an email to say clients missed the payment or they haven't, they're not up to date with the premiums, and then God forbid they get cancer or they die and their partner comes ringing you and says, I want to pay out, like get their insurance paid out, and you have to say, oh, no, it cancelled. Like, you need to have in black and white somewhere, hold on, I told them on this date, I said, I've tried to contact you, you haven't answered me, and I'm just letting you know your insurance is no longer up and running. And if you need to get it sorted, if you want to get it sorted, please get in touch with me so I can get you covered again. Like for me, my anxiety on that is like, I want to know, forget trying to get in touch with the client, ringing them to get them up and running again for the money purposes. I want to know that I've told you and everyone can see you're not covered. So get it sorted, because it's too much of a risk for you and for your business.
Yeah. I mean, it's a scary one, the whole thing. And so what do you do? Is there anything you can think that people can do to actually mitigate them beforehand? Because I know a lot of people get clawbacks. Is there anything you can do in the appointment? And obviously you can't stop someone from cancelling, but is there anything you can do to kind of increase the likelihood of that sticks?
Well, I always I don't obviously know any other way of doing it apart from my own. And I know that I tell every single one of my clients that they can cancel whenever they want. I tell them that. Like, a lot of people don't like to tell them that because I think they want to try and keep them and not let them know it's so easy. But I tell them all, I say, you can cancel at any time, you're not in any contract. If you ever want to amend anything, get in touch with me and I'll do it for you. And I'm always very transparent about everything. Like, when they say, oh, like, how, are you getting paid a fee? I say to them, no, I get paid commission from this. Like, yeah, I'll get paid from what you do. And I'm just going to plug my computer in.
Yeah, go for it.
But I don't know whether that helps, because my clawbacks are, considering how much business, like, volume I do, touch wood, I've got a really high persistency. Like, very, very few of my clients cancel. But when they do cancel, I make sure, I know someone who got caught out on this, I make sure that every single one of the providers I'm with, I've got, like, the email notification. So, like, if they lapse or miss a premium, I get emailed and notified straight away. I also have the letter one set up in case for some reason the emails don't work. There's then a letter, because, like, I am a bit OTT with it. But from my point of view, I think I need to know that I can go back to the provider and say, that client's cancelled, but I haven't had any notification of that. Like, and if they say, well, it was on an email, and I say it wasn't, and then I say, well, I asked for a letter and there was no letter sent, then that gives me more, I don't know, like, more chance of being able to sort that out, because I've done everything I can do my end. So make sure all the providers you're up to date with in terms of their, like, notifications and direct debits and things like that, miss premiums. And then everyone's different, like, but like where I am, obviously I get when I get paid, it shows me if I've had a clawback. So if I have a clawback, sometimes I'll get that before the providers will actually notify me. So then I'll use that straight away, and I'll say, I'll just email the client and I'll text the client. I do both. I WhatsApp the client and I email them. So then I think there's no way you can say you don't know. I don't even ring them anymore. I used to ring them and I don't now, because I think if you can see it in black and white, and obviously WhatsApp, you get the blue tick, emails. I know they've got my emails because they've opened my previous emails when the policies went live. So, like, I just try and cover my ass as much as I can. And 9 times out of 10, a client will say, oh my God, like, I've changed banks. Oh my God, I don't know what's happened there. And, it's just an error. Now and again, you get a client that'll say, oh, no, I just don't want it anymore. Right, no problem, fine. Just so you know, you're not covered from now on. If you do want to change at any time, just let me know. And, like, then at least you've passed that responsibility on to them. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have people?
I'm waiting for Albert to get picked up for gymnastics.
I love it. It's like very real. We called the protection parent. It's very much that today.
Literally is this, multitasking.
I love it. Do you find people ghost those kind of blue ticks, like, so you get that where people read it and then don't reply, or just
sometimes, like, I don't get loads of them, and the ones I do get, a lot of the time it is, oh my God, but you do get the odd one, and then that's why I email as well, because I think I don't want it to get back to, I just imagine the poor partners. So say, for example, Keo's insurance had cancelled and he never told me that he hadn't paid his direct debit. And I'm sat here thinking, oh, Keo's covered, and if he passed away, God forbid, I then ring and go, like, I'm here, and they say, no, his premiums were cancelled. Imagine, as the advisor, you going, well, I told him, I rang him. I could say, well, what do you mean you rang him? I don't know. Like, where was, if you can then say, well, I emailed him this time, there's the email I sent, there's a WhatsApp I sent, like, then, without sounding awful, it's on their head then. It's their fault.
It's very consumer duty. It's very like with the consumer duty coming in and the changes having to be made, it's very that, which is what you're doing sounds very in line with what is going to have to be done across the board. I think as of the end of June, I think when the new rules come in for consumer duty, which is that you'll have to have things, or every network will be different and every provider will be different, but what you'll have to prove, like that you say that you have made the right in due course. So no different than a suitability letter, really, isn't it? Yeah,
but like people, I think if you always change your mindset and your perspective to that, you're not trying to get money. So some people will be like, oh, I need to get it back on because I'm going to lose my commission. Forget that. Like, for me, I think when you think like that, you're attracting the wrong type of
Yeah.
vibe anyway. I always just think at the end of the day, if the client doesn't want you and the client's cancelled your insurance, it is very black and white the way I think. But I think, well, I deserve to lose that money because I haven't done my job right.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally the way I think. If I lose clients and they just say, I don't want to be insured anymore, or I don't need it anymore, I think, well, that's on me then, that. Because if you feel like that, I haven't done my job right. And or you can't win them all. It's one of the two. So you have to take the clawback. You have to take the hit, because sometimes that is just going to happen, and sometimes you can't win. You can't do everything right all the time. But in terms of my attitude towards a clawback, I just think make sure the client is covered first. Make sure that you have done your bit in terms of covering your backside, covering your business, making sure that their family are aware, like, that if anything did happen, you did what you could do and they never got back to you. Like, that should be your main concern. And people, and also as well, it's making sure that you're keeping in touch with the providers properly. Like, if I had a provider where I was getting loads of clawbacks, but I never had my notifications on, so I actually didn't know that was happening. And then the provider comes around a couple of months later and says, your persistency with us is 50%. And I go, well, I didn't know that. Well, that's on me then. Like, that's my job. It's not their job. Yeah, it would be great if the providers all just did that off their own backs, but they don't. Like, it's your responsibility to know your business. Like, you need to understand your business. So if I'm getting clawbacks or if I'm getting cancellations from a certain provider, that would make me think, well, why? Like, what's going on there? There's something, there's a reason there. If you know what I mean, it's good to analyze from a business point of view as well. So anyone who was obviously set up, especially if you're bloody an AR, like, I know for advisors it's a little different because obviously you'd be under a company, but like, I tell all my staff, like, that's what you need to do from the beginning. Make sure you signed up for all the email communications, make sure they know that you want to be informed of everything. And I still get all the letters. So I still see
from all your advisors, you still get the cancellations from theirs.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I get the letters. So, like, because everything's under me, under the protection parent, I get all the letters to my house. So
I love that.
Like, I had it the other day where a medical had been confirmed. So I just messaged one of the girls and said, oh, yeah, I've had this letter from, like, yeah, I sorted that last week. Because obviously they've got it in email. So it's quicker for them. But I still like the fact that I can turn it round. Alba, I'll just send Alba 1 sec. Mom, say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Bye. Turn this off as well.
Love it.
So yeah, top tip.
Yeah,
after that.
That's good. No, and that's, so what I would say with that, then it sounds like from the way you've approached it, then this would be the same whether you're a because you've come at it from a non-monetary perspective. If you're somebody who takes your commission on the drip instead of up front, you still should have all this stuff set up, because as you said, it's the persistency level and more the right thing for the client. So it seems to be, if someone's listened to this and it's like, that's great, but I don't have many clawbacks. I don't have any clawbacks because I have everything on, because I've got a few clients who take everything on the drip. And so to protect themselves in that way means it takes it very hard to get money, because it's years before you're pulling in any real significant amount of money. But the stuff you're talking about there would protect their reputation, both with the providers and also protect the clients. So it's still massively relevant, even if you're taking it on the drip.
Yeah, so it's literally, that's what I mean. Like, it's the point of view that you're protecting the client, not protecting your pocket.
Yeah,
like,
makes a big difference.
That conscience over commission thing again, like, you need to be thinking of, what if that happened to me, how would I feel, rather than, oh my God, I've lost that amount of money. And if you are on the drip, it's still exactly the same thing. Like, you still should be protecting your clients over making sure your commissions are in.
No, completely. So what's our parting words? You say, we've obviously spoken, this has been a good one, this. I love this, because I've just let you speak because it got me thinking about it. But what would be your parting words?
Well, just instead of trying to manage your business from a profit point of view, try to manage your business from a personal conscience point of view. Like, what would you feel better at night thinking about, knowing you've done, than panicking over money? If you do that bit right first anyway, you won't have to worry about money. So conscience,
I love that.
always.
Gonna get that tattooed on your forehead. That conscience over
No,
commission.
I do need to get that somewhere. But yeah, I might get it in the office.
I love it. It's a really good term. Wicked. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.